Hello YouTube, how's it going? It's a professional here today, and today we are going to be looking at the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack. A lot of people have asked me to look at this. I just haven't gotten the chance to look at this, but we are going to be looking at this now. And I'm going to tell you guys early on, I'm going to be looking into this, but from the impression that I'm getting on early on, this is not worth it. So let's read off what it is. The Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack is one of the fastest ways for new Grand Theft Auto Online players to jumpstart their criminal empires. Do not purchase if you already own the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack. Get access to a huge range of the most exciting and popular content in GTA Online, including the properties, business, weapons, vehicles, and more. Over GTA 10 million in value. Now, see, the way they describe it, over GTA $10 million in value, I already don't like that, because just how expensive shark cards are already. I mean, what is it? It's charging you $100. Isn't it like $100 for like $8 million? We'll double check that later in the video. But here, let's take a look right now. Let's take a look at what we got. Purchase this to get the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack, blah, blah, blah. The Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack is the fastest way for GTA Online players. The same thing again, but right here, it does not tell you exactly what this has to offer. And, I don't like that already. This is kind of false advertising right now, that they're telling you this gives you everything that you need to make money, but yet it's not describing what's in here, and it's really sketchy right now that it doesn't describe the details in here. And this is pretty much down here, this is the same thing. This just includes a great white shark, this one includes a whale shark, and this one includes a megalodon. So $100, so it's I already don't like the way that these are described. Let's do some more research. Let's try to find out more on these. Let's see what we can find out exactly what this isn't exactly in this Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack, because the menu that they give you to purchase it doesn't even tell you what's in here, which is a shame. So let's see what's in here exactly. Okay, so here we have to go with the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack. We actually have to go to GTA Wiki just to see what this is. So let's take a look right here. US $39.99, Great Britain $39.99, Euro $44.99, and Australia $67.95. And I know that in Great Britain, the pounds, that they're actually worth more than the American dollar, so it's actually more expensive in Great Britain than it is in America. And I believe the euro is also more expensive than the dollar, so it's actually a lot more expensive in Europe than it is in America. And I don't know how Australia's currency compares, but that also looks really expensive. So right here, let's take a look at this right now. Okay, so the first thing we get is $1 million in bonus cash. I'm noticing that up here, and I guess that'll definitely help like a new player out, like a player that needs money. But anybody that really like knows what they're doing can easily like grind it in a day. Like you could just do import export work easily and just get this in a day easily. So I'm not really that impressed by the $1 million in bonus cash. Like, I mean, I guess $5 million would be good to start somebody off on, but like, I mean, $1 million, and like all these new players, when they come to the game, they're just gonna spend this on cars anyways. They're not gonna think about investing it in other businesses. They're just gonna immediately spend it on cars, and they're gonna be broken the same day. So let's move on to the properties down here. Let's take a look at what this has to offer. Okay, so here, guys, let's take a look at some of the properties that they offer you with the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack. And the first one that we're looking at is Maze Bank West. And, I mean, this is the cheapest office in the game, and that's not a good thing right now. Normally, I would be praising it because of its price, but because you're paying actual money, you're paying $40 for the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack, and they're deciding to give you the cheapest office in the game. I mean, really? Really? And like, I mean, just compare it to, for example, the just across the street, Lombank West. It's 3,100,000, and even down here, the Arcadius Business Center, that's 1,575,000. I personally like the regular Maze Bank Tower that's right in the middle of the city, and the reason I like this one is because if you're doing crate work or you're doing import-export work, this is right in the center, so whenever you have to pick anything up, you can just, you already have a head start to it depending on where it spawns. So, like, for instance, if something spawns, like, over here, you'll be closer to it than if you have to get it from here, for instance, and then you gotta go all the way back to the office to spawn the next crate or the next car. It'll be easy because it's right in the middle of the city, but this location, I mean, the only real advantage of it would be that it's near the highway, but and another plus would be the price, but again, the price is not a good thing here because we're paying real money for this. So if we're paying real money for this, I expect a good high premium office, not the cheapest office in the game. And to top that off, they don't even give you a CEO warehouse with this. They give you, they call it the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack, but they don't even give you a warehouse to start it off with. Like, how can they not give you a warehouse? Like, at least give us a small warehouse, or give us like an import-export garage. That's like a big part of CEO work, but they don't give it to you. So the first property is definitely not worth it on the first one, the office. Let's take a look at the second property. Let's see what else they have to offer. Now let's talk about the next property that they give you with this, the Polito Forest Bunker. And ooh, no, 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 no. I already know this is a bad start from here. If you guys watched a lot of my previous streams, you guys know this is the worst bunker in the game. For anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, this is the cheapest bunker in the game, and there's a reason that it's so cheap. And when you pay cheap for this bunker, you get exactly what you pay for. This is the worst bunker in the game. I buy my supplies, but for a lot of people that like to steal their supplies, and I still think that buying supplies is the more effective route, but let's just talk about stealing supplies, for instance, in this video right here. If you were to steal supplies, like, if you had to steal something in Sandy Shores, okay, but if you had to steal something all the way from here, imagine how much of a nightmare it would be. You'd have to go all the way down here, you have to take something, drive it all the way back up here. It'd be a nightmare, be an absolute nightmare. And to top that off, when you have to sell something, that's the worst part about this bunker, when you have to sell something. I mean, the only plus here is that you're right next to the highway. That's the only good thing about this bunker, the only good thing. You have to sell something, and like the sell missions, if you get like the monster truck missions, for instance, like that would be a little easier. I guess like sometimes it'll spawn like around here in the hills, sometimes around here. But if you get the monster truck mission, it could be a little easier. But note, when you are doing a resupply mission in a bunker, you have 30 minutes. You have 30 minutes to collect the supplies and bring them back. But when you're doing a sell mission, you have 15 minutes to sell all the stuff, unless you're doing the Merryweather mission, which is where you have to deliver 3 insertions with 5 drops. And think about it this way. Let's say that we have the Merryweather mission, for instance. We have the 30-minute time. You have 3 insurgents, and you have 5 drops in each one. So you have a total of 15 drops. You have to drive that. And the first drop is going to be most likely all the way down here. It could start here in Chumash. Sometimes it starts here. Sometimes it starts here. It could even go farther here. So imagine having to drive all the way down here. Just imagine how bad that would be. All the way down here just to make your first drop, and then you got to make 4 more drops. And not only that, but you have to fight Merryweather at each drop. It will be a nightmare. And the worst possible sell that you can get for this is the Dune FAV. When you have the Dune FAVs, you have 4 Dune FAVs, and you have to take them, and each Dune FAV has to make 5 drops, and you have to take them all the way down here, and you have to make 5 drops across the city. And some of them can be in the hills, like really scattered all over the place, like really far from each other, even farther than the Merryweather one with the Insurgent. And you only have 15 minutes for that, and a lot of people don't make it. They don't make it to make all the sales in time. I've seen it. I've seen a lot of people fail on that, where they weren't able to make the sale in time. So this is a very, very bad bunker location. The good bunkers, in my opinion, would be Zancudo, and it would be Chumash. And Chumash, I think, is the best one personally, just because it's on the highway and it's so close to the city. It just makes selling so easy and so comfortable, especially when you get the 3 insurgent ones. The simple one where you just make 1 drop, it's so easy from Chumash. The farmhouse bunker, I would say, is also a decent bunker, but I still think that Zancudo and Chumash are the superior bunkers. But this bunker, it's just a nightmare. Stay away from this thing. It's horrible. And for anybody who's confused, watch some of my live streams where we sell in this bunker, and you guys will just see how much of a disaster it is selling from this bunker. I've sold from this bunker so many times, and I can tell you it's a nightmare. This is the horrible bunker, and there's a reason that they're giving you this bunker. They're giving you this bunker, and it's not even upgraded when you buy it. They're giving you this bunker because they want you to invest money in it. They want you to waste a ton of money. You want you to upgrade this bunker for new players. New players are going to think, oh, this is the best bunker I got in the game because I got it with the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack. They upgrade this bunker. They waste a ton of money. They grind and grind and grind and grind endlessly. They grind for 11 to 12 hours, fill up the bunker all the way, and then once the bunker is filled up all the way, they got to deliver all their supplies all the way down here. And all these new players that are starting out in the game, they probably don't even have a lot of friends, because it might even be new to PlayStation. They might get the game for Christmas. That's probably what Rockstar's counting on. That's probably why they released it so close to Christmas. And they get new friends with them to help them out, and they possibly could not even have friends at all. And if they have to make 3 vehicles, they have to take 3 vehicles, and they don't even know that you need a lot of people to sell with this. They could sell by themselves, have to drive 3 vehicles, one at a time, or even worse, they're driving here, they're making their drops, and halfway down here, they get blown up by some guy with a fighter jet or an oppressor, and they lose all their stuff, and they just lost all their money, and 11 to 12 hours of grinding was for absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And at that point, the new players are like, you know what? I might as well go buy a shark card. And then Rockstar makes even more money. So there's a reason that they gave you this Polito Bay bunker. It's a horrible deal right here. Let's take a look at another property. Let's see if it's worth it. And here we have the next property, the Great Chaparral Clubhouse, 101 Route 68. Now, this is the cheapest clubhouse in the game for $200,000. There's no other clubhouse that is cheaper, so they're giving you the cheapest clubhouse in the game. And this location, the location here doesn't make it bad. It's certainly better than the Polito Bay clubhouses, but this location doesn't make it bad. It's relatively easy to access. Note this has a different interior than the more expensive clubhouses, so if you want a different interior, you would get a different clubhouse here. But this clubhouse, I don't really have anything against its interior, but just because of its price here, normally I would give it a thumbs up for just being so cheap. But again, remember, we're spending real money for this criminal enterprise starter pack, so it's not worth it that they're giving you the cheapest clubhouse in the game. Why are they giving you the cheapest clubhouse in the game? Why not give us the most expensive one in the game? And I mean, just look at the price on this, guys. $200,000. $200,000. The clubhouses in this game, they're one of the most cheapest properties in the game. The cheapest buildings that you can possibly own are the clubhouses. So for $200,000, like, guys, like, you guys can make that. Some people can make that in less than half an hour. In less than half an hour of just grinding jobs, somebody could make that. So this is just a joke right now. Like, you can make this in less than an hour. You can make this in half an hour to an hour. You can make that money and you can buy that clubhouse. So it's an absolute joke. It's a joke that they're giving you the cheapest clubhouse in the game right here. Why are they giving you a clubhouse? Like, the clubhouse isn't really that necessary. Like, I mean, they could throw it in, sure, but why not give us a cocaine business? Why not give us a meth business with that? Why are they giving us the cheapest clubhouse in the game right here? It's just a giant joke. So right here, guys, here's the other business. I personally own this business, the Counterfeit Cash Factory, so I wanted to look up exactly how much money this business still was. So they're giving you the Grand Sonora location, and it's $845,000. And this location is pretty good. If you have your businesses, you definitely want to have them in Sandy Shores because you're going to save money in comparison to having them in the city. And it's going to be easier to sell in the city than in Sandy Shores. The only thing you might run into is more players in the city, but the drops are a lot easier to make in the city because the roads are paved, so the roads are quicker to take, and the drops are closer together versus in the desert and the countryside where the roads aren't paved. There's a lot of dirt roads, so you're going to be driving slower, especially if you have the vans, and the drops are a lot farther apart. So the Counterfeit Cash Factory here, this is probably the only property location that's a good one. But it's just not worth it because they don't give you any of the other businesses. They certainly don't give you the meth business, the cocaine business. They should have thrown in other businesses with it. Why are they just giving you the Counterfeit Cash Factory? So the Counterfeit Cash Factory is the only good location here. I have this location. A lot of other people have this location. It's right in the middle of the map, and it's a good location. But again, this is the only good property that I'm seeing so far here. So here, guys, we have the next property, 1561 Vitus Street, apartment 2. It's a 2-car garage, and it's worth $99,000. And this is even more of a joke right now. Like, really? Really? So we're paying $40? We're paying $40 for a criminal enterprise starter pack, and they're not going to throw in a penthouse? They're not going to give us a penthouse? Really? They could have given you a stilt house. They could have even given us a stilt house or a penthouse. That should have been what the thing. But really, a 2-car garage worth $99,000? Is this a joke? Like, really? Like, I was saying earlier how the $200,000 for the clubhouse you can make in 30 minutes to an hour. Like, I could make this kind of money, $99,000. I could make that in less than 30 minutes. I could play a few CEO works, sell a car, do 2 CEO works, do a point to point. I could easily have that money in less than half an hour. It's just a joke. And it's a 2-car garage, not even a medium one. Oh, come on. So I guess you guys pretty much get the idea. This apartment is definitely not worth it. And here we have the final property, 1337 Exceptionalist's Way, and it's a 10-car garage. And I mean, I guess it's good. It's a 10-car garage, but why are they giving us an apartment with only 2 cars in it, but then they're giving us a 10-car garage? It doesn't make sense. And for anybody watching this video, don't ever buy a garage. Never buy a garage. And the reason you don't want to buy a garage is because a garage is going to take up a spot from an apartment. So it's not going to let you own an apartment. So it's much better to invest in a penthouse, and you have an apartment and a garage for 10 cars versus just getting a garage, and then you can't get an extra apartment. You can't get an extra safe house. So it's always better buying a safe house versus just having a garage. I guess it's good that it's a 10-car garage, but still, we should have had. Why couldn't they just give us, instead of giving us that crappy house of only a 2-car garage and giving us a 10-car garage? Why couldn't they just give us a penthouse instead? Because they know that players, when they buy more properties, players are going to be like, wait, I can't own more apartments. I guess I'm going to have to sell the garage now, and then they're going to have to spend even more money. That's why they're doing it. That's exactly why they're doing it, because they know that players are going to replace these properties over time. They're not going to have these properties. So it's a joke right now. It really is. This should have been a penthouse right now. So everything so far, it's just not worth it. Let's take a look at some of the final stuff on this. So as you guys see right here, I have taken a picture from the GTA Wiki, and I have added the prices on all the vehicles. These are all the vehicles included with the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack. And these vehicles are generic vehicles. They're not really worth it, and they're pretty cheap too. I mean, just look at a lot of these vehicles. A lot of these vehicles you could easily grind for. Like, I mean, the only vehicle I could see here helping you out would be the supercar because it could get people around pretty quickly. But some of them are really cheap, like the Banshee and the Chopper. The only really noticeable vehicle in here is the Dune FAV. That's the only weaponized vehicle in here, and that's not even the best one. So they should definitely they should have put an oppressor in here. If they were going to include vehicles that like a new player should get, definitely should have put the oppressor because of just how much of a useful vehicle it is. But of course, it's not in here. And also, additionally, these vehicles don't even come with upgrades. So you get all these vehicles thrown at you, and now you have to pay money to upgrade them. So the vehicles definitely aren't worth it. Let's take a look at the final part, the guns. So right here, guys, this is what they have to offer us at the end: a compact grenade launcher, a marksman rifle, and a compact rifle. Yeah, that's right. This is not a joke. This is what they are offering you with this. And the marksman rifle, like, I don't even understand why it's one of the weapons that they decided to throw in, because the marksman rifle is not locked behind a rank. You don't need to be a specific rank to unlock the marksman rifle because it was a weapon included in the DLC. So why are they including that in? And just, I mean, just look at how much of a joke this is. 45,000, 15,000, 14,000. I mean, you put all those together, you get around $75,000. Like, a new player, somebody that's starting out the game for the first time, you could do 2 to 3 contact missions and sell a car, steal a car on the street and just sell it in paint and spray, and you'll easily have this money. This is just a joke that they're giving the compact grenade launcher to marksman rifle. How about giving new players all the guns? Maybe that would be better instead of this. And the worst part is, they don't even give you Mark II on the marksman rifle. That's right, they don't even give you Mark II on that. So this is just these weapons right here. This is just a joke. So as you guys see right now, the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack is definitely not worth it. But guys, before we go, I just want to show you guys one final thing. And this one final thing that I'm going to show you guys, this is going to be the nail in the coffin for the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack. And it's going to show exactly why this pack is not worth it. Here you go. Take a look at this right now. Amazon.com. Look at this. Grand Theft Auto 5 PS4. Look at this. PS4, $33.49. Xbox One, $33. PC, $34.55. And just look at this right now. So let me get this straight. They want us to pay $39.99 to just have a few crappy properties, 3 guns, and a bunch of generic vehicles that nobody's going to be using. And yet the game is actually around $10 cheaper, around $5 to $10 cheaper than the actual pack. So you can get the full game for $5 to $10 cheaper than you can the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack. So the Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack is worth more money than the full game. That's right. The pack is worth more money than the full game. So I think you guys see it. This Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack is definitely not worth it. Do not get it. It's definitely not worth it. If it had a lot more things that would have helped new players out, I might have recommended it. Like, I know I'm personally against shark cards, but this was a different kind of purchasable microtransaction, because in here we would have been able to help new players. They would have given them specific properties, things to help them make money. The description is false. The way they describe it to you, it makes it seem like you're gonna have everything you need to get money, and that's when a new player is gonna be attracted to that, and it's gonna waste their money on it. So this is just a joke. So I'm sorry I was talking for so long, guys. I tried to keep the video as short as possible, but I just had to go into so many details on this, and I had to explain why this Criminal Enterprise Starter Pack is definitely not worth it. So I apologize for that. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Do you think this pack is worth it? Do you disagree with me? If so, please put in the comments why, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. This pack is definitely not worth it. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.